If you consider the riots and the unrest happening all across the country right now, seen on the news, as peaceful, and you are okay with the Taliban-like methods that are being used by those who are rioting, using women and children to shield themselves from the police, you should be ashamed of yourself. And you should probably consider the fact that you might be someone that can be easily convinced to dismiss what may just be the second coming. My name is Robert, and yes, I'm still pushing the quest for a Black Proclamation of Life, where we come together as Blacks, not just Blacks, but specifically, most importantly, Blacks, come together and stand firm against Black on Black crime, and we stand firm against abortion while being driven by, in my view, while being driven by forgiveness. Yeah, forgiveness. I'm going to bring a message to you today. I think it's really important. I want to discuss um, an issue I have in terms of us being robbed of our dignity in many ways, and being in partnership with the destruction of the Black community. I think we need to discuss this issue a lot more in detail. I'm going to give you my take on it, and hopefully I can again start this conversation that'll be helpful for all of us. So here we go. Like I said before, in my effort, I really truly want to push for a Black proclamation. By the way, yes, I am reading my notes. I've got a lot to cover. I don't have, I've got a pea brain, so I can't remember a whole lot of things. So I've got to kind of like look at my notes a little bit to keep me on track, so I don't go off track and lose anybody, including me. So I'll be glancing back and forth from time to time. But here's my issue. Yes, I want to push Black, the Black Proclamation, but I also want to start a discussion, and maybe add to the discussion, and maybe expose some things that's happening right now in our country that we need to be aware of. For example, we have been over the decades, we have been mentally and emotionally used and mugged for our power. We are, for centuries, we have proven that we provide an incredible asset to the American experiment. But for some reason, the evidence of that proof, of our impact in the past, has been or is being dismissed to a degree, and has been um, hidden by certain players. I have my idea who those players are. I hope you do as well. But I think this is, I think that this issue, it drives me, and hopefully it drives you too, to a compelling question. Excuse me, a compelling problem, and then a question. My compelling problem is, the Black intellectual and emotional control that we have given away, and our unwitting participation in the systematic destruction of the Black culture. Now, my question is, how do we expose it? How do we show that? How do we show proof that there have been decades and decades of activities, acts on diabolical acts on Black Americans, and we have been robbed. And these acts have been strong enough to really truly orchestrate the literal destruction of the Black culture in America. And when I say Black culture, I'm speaking about our belief systems, our values, the way we treat each other, our music, our movies, our writings, all of that is being controlled. And we should have that discussion and hopefully try to um, stop being participants in and being stronger at defending ourselves. Now, to accomplish the Black intellect and emotional control, you know, I see two things that are being used. There are many things, but the two that stands out to me are failing schools and the victimization mentality. Now, if you pay attention to what's going on, you see that there are signs of us all over the place of us being denied school choice. And this in and of itself, it drives a lack of education, intellectual maturity, and the ability to think critically about issues. It leaves us helplessly dependent on self-proclaimed civil rights leaders, power-hungry and very manipulative politicians, and the CNNs of the world, all of which drives us to think the way they want us to think, feel the way they want us to feel, and behave the way they want us to behave. And to me, that's a problem. Now, the victimization mentality, in my view, is we're being coddled. We've been coddled for a very long time, and that has basically empowered us to be a participant in this destruction of our culture. Um, we don't call ourselves out when we shamefully show the inability to unite as a culture. We don't call ourselves out, and we allow or turn a blind eye to incredible, overwhelming violence on our own. Not just everyone else in the community, but on our own as well. We don't say much at all about it. We are complicit, and we're not pointing ourselves out as being complicit in creating these statistics that create and drive a reason to profile someone that looks like they're going to cause a problem. We inadequately condemn, we indirectly support, and we indirectly justify our own destruction, in my opinion. Now, we became, and in my view, we remain unwitting participants every time we accept abortion and social programs that do nothing more than keep us hooked on social programs. If the programs are in place to help us get off our feet and to move to another level, great. But if we accept programs that do nothing but keep us dependent and keep us in one place, it's hurting us. The most powerful force of destruction to the black family, in my opinion, is abortion. It is the diabolical belief that it's okay and that it's a woman's choice. It is not a woman's choice. It's not a person's choice. Excuse me. It's not a woman's choice or a personal choice. It is a person's choice. That child has a purpose. God gave that child a purpose and a time frame to be here to serve out his purpose in his physical world. That child begins as a spirit being, and by use of the woman, God allows that transformation from a spirit child to a physical child to take place in that woman. She is responsible for bringing that child into this world and mothering that child forever until that child is called home to spend the rest of eternity with their father. The reason that we have a lack of presence in the black community, or a lack of presence, black presence, and a lack of really true power in this country and around the world is because of abortion. We kill each other. We kill each other by the hundreds of thousands every single year through abortion. We also commit black on black crime. We kill thousands. We kill between 5 and 6 thousand of our own every single year. And that is in addition to abortion. The most violent place, the most violent place for a baby, a black baby especially, the most violent place for a black baby in this country is in a black woman's uterus. We have to talk about these things because it's damn true. The most threatening force to black existence is abortion. Whether you have an abortion, support abortion, turn a blind eye to abortion, you're responsible. Ladies, you're responsible. Guys, you're responsible. Stop being a dumbass Adam and be responsible and say no when no needs to be said. And let's stop the killing of our babies. Now, social incentives. The best example, I think, is what's happened this year here with the corona pandemic. Our politicians, mainly Democrats, pushed for a program that would allow an additional $600 on top of unemployment to be given to everyone who lost their job during the pandemic. That is only designed, in my view, to incentivize those who receive that money to stay home and not go back to work. Ultimately, that impacts the economy in a negative way, and it impacts you in a way that it takes your drive to sustain your own life financially. I'm not perfect. My life past will show you that I have made many mistakes in the past. So I'm not excluding myself. I didn't take the money. I'm self-employed, so I wouldn't even qualify for it. But we can't let that happen. That's just another way to be controlled by them. And I think we need to make sure that we, put that into consideration. Now, as I said before, my intent is to still push the Black Proclamation. But I also want to drive the conversation about how we're being used and how we have become unwitting participants in our own destruction. And it happens every single day. We have made we have made so many contributions to this country, to the American experiment. We are amazing. We tend to forget that, we dismiss it, or we just don't know it's there because information has been hidden for some reason. This movement to, limit our education, to enable us to empower us through legislation to kill our own children is one of, it is probably more evil than anything the American slave master could have ever done to us. I sometimes wonder if the American slave master is late, as in the late American slave master, or has the American slave master just maybe changed forms? I wonder. And like I said before, again, for decades we have, we've done a lot. We've done a lot for this country, and we also, for decades, have devoted so much of our time and our energy and our votes to the Democratic Party, social programs. And unfortunately, today, our brothers and sisters, like me, average, and multimillionaires and above, are unfortunately still stuck on that dedication to the Democratic Party to the point that they are, and Black Lives Matter, to the point that they are unfortunately exposing themselves and exposing how egregiously racist they are, and in some cases anti-Christian they are. And it's really a problem. We are still relinquishing the remains of our black power to, from the Democratic Party, and still to the Democratic Party, but from them to another, limited in scope but incredibly powerful, diabolical, international political monstrosity, controlled by millionaires, billionaires, politicians, socialists, Marxists, and terrorists, old and new, called the Black Lives Matter, BLM. We would we would probably fare a lot better if we were to really pay attention to how we're being used and how we should come together as a culture, stand firm against black and black crime, stand firm against abortion, drive and be driven by forgiveness, and take care of our own and take care of this country. I hope this makes sense to you. Um, God bless you. God bless America. God bless all of America. God bless blacks, whites, and the blue, and everyone else. Thank you. Have a good day.